Bellwork C2. Before we get started, I want you to take a moment to see what's typed up in the top left corner. It says first step, you want to add or subtract the number outside the box, and the second step is to multiply or divide. Please take a moment, pause your video, and write those down. Okay, so if you remember correctly, I called the box an electric fence. In other words, don't touch what's in the box. Don't touch what's in the box. That's going to be our second step. The first step is to get rid of that number outside of the box. So if you look at number 1, the number outside of the box is 4. Since it's a positive 4, the inverse, or the opposite, would be to subtract 4 from both sides. Cancel your 4s. Now bring down everything in the box. Don't forget the negative sign. Keep your equal sign lined up. And 32 minus 4 is 28. Now we're ready for step 2. Step 2 is to multiply or divide. Well, since this is a multiplication problem here, the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. So my final answer is x equals negative 7. Box your answer or circle your answer. All right, number 2. This time we want to isolate the x. On the same side of x is negative 7 and negative 5, but negative 7 is in the box. We don't touch that. We have to get rid of the negative 5 first. The opposite of negative 5, or the inverse of negative 5, is positive 5. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Cancel the 5s. Keep your equal signs lined up. Bring down the negative 7x. 51 plus 5 is 56. Now we are ready for step 2. Step 2 is either multiplication or division. Well, since this is a multiplication problem, the inverse operation would be to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by the number with the variable, which is negative 7. The 7's cancel. Bring down my equal sign. The variable stays on the right since it starts on the right, and that would be negative 8. Number 3, I want to isolate the x. I need to get rid of the 8 and the negative 14. The first step would be to get rid of the negative 14. Since it's negative, the inverse would be positive, so I'm going to add 14 to both sides. Cancel the 14s out, bring down my 8x. 18 plus 14 is 32. Next step is to multiply or divide. Since the original problem is multiplication, I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Nothing I'm doing here is different than what we've done before. We're just doing 2 different steps in one problem. Bring down the variable, the equal sign, and 32 divided by 8 is 4. All right, number 4. To isolate the x, I need to get rid of the 3 and the 14. The 3's in the box, that's the second step, so I need to get rid of the 14 first. It's positive 14, so I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. Cancel the 14s. Keep my equal signs lined up. Bring down the 3x. Negative 37 minus 14, those signs are the same. So technically I'm going to add and keep the sign, which is negative. 3x means multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Negative 51 divided by 3 is negative 17. So negative 17 equals x. The x starts on the right, it stays on the right. Number 5. I have 3/4 and -9 on the same side as the variable. 3/4 is in the box, so that's the second step. I need to get rid of the -9. The inverse of -9 is +9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Cancel the 9's. Bring down my 3/4 x. -33 plus 9 would be -24. Now we have a multiplication problem with a fraction. We can't divide. Cannot divide by fractions. Instead, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I cancel the 3's, I cancel the 4's, bring my variable down, equal sign. If you want to just put that straight into your calculator, that's fine. If you want to reduce first, that's also fine. Doesn't matter to me. In the end, you get -32. Number 6. I got the -15 and the 12 with the variable. I need to isolate. So get rid of the 12 first. Since it's +12, the inverse would be -12. Cancel the 12's. Bring down my x over -15. Keep the equal signs lined up. And 8 minus 12 would be -4. This is division. We don't need to do the reciprocal because it's just a variable in the numerator. Since it's just x, I do not need to use the reciprocal. I just need to think of that as division, and the inverse for division would be multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -15. Cancel the 15's, bring down the variable, the equal sign, -4 times -15 would be +60. All right, that is it for Bellwork C2. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would now use Bellwork C2 to help you complete Bellwork C3.